Oh my goodness, thank goodness. We have a short video, finally. Oh boy, that was, man. Sometime you just need a break. And sometimes you need a small roster of players to do it. So, hey everybody, I'm Cortez and I'm a critic and welcome. We are currently working on our deep dive into the 2025 NFL Draft. We are halfway through the NFC East. And now we're going to talk about the Commanders, who were the biggest surprise, not just in the NFC East, but the entire NFL. And now we're going to see what is the sequel, what is the next big thing. As the Commanders, Philadelphia got 10 picks. They went all out and they won the Super Bowl. Washington, you were this close to a Super Bowl, even though the scoreboard says you were this far from a Super Bowl, and you guys got 5. It's gonna be a short video. Cool. So, the Washington, second year with Quinn and Daniels. Will the sequel be as good as the first one? Okay, so 5 picks, not even a full 7. I mean, all right, let's get into it. With the 29th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders selected Josh Cornelly Jr., offensive tackle, Oregon. Josh Cornelly was a guy that I really believe he was going to be picked probably around this time, either by the Kansas City Chiefs or by the Washington Commanders, because the biggest thing was, okay, Jaden Daniels is good, but let's not break him, because I'm sure some Washington fans remember another Heisman Trophy, second-year overall pick quarterback that they broke in RG3. So, of course, they don't want to repeat that. Now, the good news is that Daniels is not running every time to save his life, and he's not using his athleticism, even though he has a God-given athleticism that does make him a great player. But unlike RG3, where I kind of feel like they design runs for him, Daniels at times feel like your time thinking, well, he's going to definitely run this play, and he stays in the pocket and throws perfect spirals. So it's always very interesting. So getting an offensive tackle, which Cornelly is viewed as a right tackle. Well, because you got, Laramie Tunsil, so your left tackle kind of solidified. And Josh Cornelly is not even viewed as a starter. He's viewed as the backup behind Andrew Wiley. Andrew. So looking at the Commanders in that regard, I don't know. I really thought Dan Quinn would go defense first. There was a part of my brain thinking Mike Green. They will consider taking the gamble on him, which is funny enough. He actually got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, which is basically roughly in that kind of area. So it's not like it was that far off from where he was going to potentially be paid. There was also talks about with Wagner that Campbell could have been picked up, but Campbell gets picked up by the Eagles later, in like 2 picks later in the first round. So I thought defense was the way for them to go, because a lot of the defensive players that they used are not there anymore, and some of the players that they actually did draft or trade in the season did not really pan out for them. So I really thought they would go defense first because Dan Quinn, but obviously I'm sure there were probably talk that he probably wanted to go defense first, but they said, Josh Cornelly is too valuable to take now. Let's take him, because in the long run, make sure Jaden Daniels is healthy and upright. Because let's be real, when Jaden Daniels got drafted, I said this. He looked like a more thicker Teddy Bridgewater, and not as dangerous as a runner as Lamar Jackson. And both those guys suffer injuries at the worst time of their career that really derailed them. Some career and some just playing time. So to me, this was very obviously we want to protect Jaden, not from himself, because he has proven his rookie season that he can stay in the pocket and throw, especially on crucial 4th and short, where everyone kept thinking he's going to fake the pass and then take off. And he doesn't. He uses athleticism the same way like Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow does, situationally, and even Baker Mayfield at times, situationally to get out. But they're not known as runners, even though Daniels does have the athleticism as a runner. But he plays it so well that you think, he can run, right? He probably can run for 30 yards. He does have the athleticism to do it. but he doesn't. Almost as if he's trying to prove against the stereotype of Yes, I am athletic as a quarterback, but I am still a quarterback first, then an athlete second. So I don't know. Or maybe I'm just overlooking it because the video is very short. I need something to keep, fill the runtime because everyone else is going over 20 minutes and this one might be under 20. So, yay, Commanders. But to me, this was obviously an insurance to protect your rookie quarterback because, let's be real, CJ Stroud kind of had like a sophomore dip. Not a slump, but a dip in his second year. So I'm sure the Commanders are doing their best to make sure that Daniels is healthy for this year because, let's be real, Dallas and Philadelphia have gotten stronger in the draft. And some of their veterans are coming back with a little sense of pride and to showcase that they are the dog. So Commanders, you might still be viewed as the third best team in your own division, and that's kind of insulting when basically you were viewed as one of the bright spots of the entire conference last year. So, welcome to the NFC East. You are going to in a dogfight from day one. So, getting Josh Cornelly Jr. obviously is for the future of Daniels. Now, to the second round. With the 61st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders selected Trey Amos, corner Ole Miss. Or Mississippi, if you want to be reading about it. Yes, they got defense, and I really thought they would go linebacker. I mean, what is going on with Washington? I mean, they run a 4-3 defense. I don't know. I'm looking at their defensive side. I mean, let's be real. I'm giving credit to Dan Quinn because he develops defense. He did it with the Cowboys. He did it with the Legion of Boom. He did it with Atlanta, where he gave Vic Beasley that one good year, I guess. So to me, this is something there that maybe he sees something in player that may not have like the star flashy power, but maybe he sees something like that. This guy is a precious gem. He's not a diamond, but he's a precious gem. And I'm going to mold him. And before you know it, he'll be the most powerful infinity stone ever. Maybe he does that. But then again, let's be real. The Lattimore trade didn't develop. And I think we all kind of saw it in the Tampa Bay playoff game. Mike Evans was playing as if he was not playing against Lattimore. But when the time comes, we're thinking that Lattimore used to shut down Mike Evans like a big brother playing against a little brother in Super Smash Bros. Always crushes them, always contain them. Maybe gets 1 or 2 wins here and there, but most of the time it's 90 to 10%. But Lattimore was not able to do it against Mike Evans in the playoff, and besides a couple of Buccaneer mishap, the game could have turned in a way that the Buccaneers would have stolen that playoff game, and Washington would have been back to being like, well, we still have not won a playoff against in the 90s. So to me, this was obviously the Lattimore trade did not develop, and we still made it to the conference championship. Let's remedy that, and let's actually get a corner that we can develop our way, my way, the Quinn way. So that's probably why they do it. And funny enough, Lattimore's still on the roster. Maybe an off season of rest and rehabilitation will get him back to 85% of what he was, and still be valuable as a team and not be considered more of a, well, he's not great anymore, but he's still a B plus, still an 89% type power caliber player we still can utilize. And Amos is being viewed as where? The right corner behind Lattimore. So, if we all know Quinn, this is obviously meant to learn under Lattimore and potentially be his replacement in the future. Let's be real. We'll see how much Lattimore has in the tank, but Amos is definitely there to be rotation and definitely become Lattimore's replacement in the future, obviously. And then the Commanders just took time off. Until the 4th round. They basically almost waited 60 picks before they got their pick. So in the 4th round, with the 128th selection in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders selected Jalen Lane, wide receiver, Virginia Tech. This, to me, my question for Washington was one, defense, pass rusher, because I feel like the defense pass rusher was not the strongest based on the player actually left to go join, rivals like in the Cowboys and other teams. But I always felt like, besides Terry, Zach Ertz is there, but he's more of a, kind of like what Travis Kelce is now, more of a find the zone, in the gap, solid 93% completion rate when we throw the ball his way. And sometimes it shows some flash, but he's definitely not the deep threat, down the seam guy, when he's more of like a 6 to 7 yard guy, turn around, catch the ball, and make a tackle, and then go down. They do got Deebo Samuel, but I'm sure some Commander fan are going, which Debo are we getting? Are we getting, the Debo of last year where he looked a little bit heavier, he looked a little bit sluggish, he complained about passes? Or we're getting Debo that says, hey, I'm on a new team, I got rejuvenated, I took my sensu bean, yes, the hyperbolic time chamber put me back into my old form of 2 years ago when we went to the Super Bowl, and I'm here to make Commanders great again. Who knows? We don't know. So, but I really believe that's probably what they're hoping for, that at least 1 or 2 good years of Debo before they make decisions in the future. But Lane, the Virginia Tech wide receiver, also I thought Luke McCaffrey did really good his rookie season. So that's another one thing. But I think Lane, I liked Lane at Virginia Tech. I really felt like besides, the running back and the quarterback of Dorns, and I forgot the running back's name, were the definitely focal point of Virginia Tech's season. Which Virginia Tech's season was better than I expected. I kind of thought that might be the surprise, even though they did lose week 1 to a lower team that was like, huh? So I was kind of like, what? I think it was Vanderbilt that lost to. I could be wrong, but it was a team that was kind of like, week 1, they lost to them. Okay, this season's going to be a loss. Whatever. So, seeing Lane, the biggest thing for me is that I think the Commanders need someone besides Terry. And remember, Terry was a 3rd round 76th pick. And now he's a star player and probably the star receiving threat in the NFC. He's a Pro Bowler most times, if not all the time. Or definitely viewed. I mean, he still has, plus he's from the Ohio State. So let's give the crown to Ohio State as the wide receiver capital of the country, because wide receiver from Ohio State have somehow developed, regardless where they are drafted, they have become star players of their respective teams, to point not only are they contributors, sometimes they are the number 1 receiving threat of their teams. And the Bucs got one in Mbuku, so I'm kind of excited. So seeing them get a wide receiver, I always felt like the question is Debo. Noah Brown, I feel like he's a good solid number 3. I think Luke McCaffrey, they got Michael Gallup. So there's a couple receivers there, but I feel like Lane is going to be that physical, in between, goes across the nose, takes the blunt, but makes catches. And definitely when it comes to Daniel, who's very he was 75% accurate last year, something like that, some outrageous number of accuracy. I think Lane's going to develop very well into the Commanders' offensive scheme. And honestly, he's viewed right now as a 3rd receiver behind Noah Brown. But to me, he'll get rotation, but the biggest thing will be how much does Debo take the attention away from the receiving core? How much does Terry still play like the number 1 guy? But now Terry will have less coverage, therefore Terry might get more catches. But Lane is definitely a guy we need to watch out for, because I believe he could probably have a 60-catch type season. I'm serious, 60 catches or worst case, 50. I believe he'll be that guy that just makes catches, kind of like what's his name? There was a wide receiver that came in late in the season, and he's going to drive me insane. But he used to play for the Falcons. Some of you guys might know him. And he just made catches out of nowhere late in the season. It's like, man, who's this guy? And why did Atlanta let him go? You probably will tell me later or not. Whatever. All right, so after that pick, the Commanders took another break. Up to the 6th round. With the 205th selection of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders selected Kane Medrano, linebacker, UCLA. Finally, they addressed the linebacker side. And my man is viewed as the strong side linebacker, which I really thought the probably choice. Bobby Wagner is drinking the same juice as Levante David. They just keep playing at a high level, even though most linebackers their age will probably say, I want to be able to walk in my 40s. I want to see my grandkids, I don't want to have, arthritis, pain, medication. And they're still not only being contributors, captains, but still making plays that turn the tide of games. And they both were number 54, and that's just a wonderful coincidence. But to me, this is something that I just feel like, very much like Levante David in Tampa, Wagner is one of those guys you feel like, dude, you don't need to prove anything. I think so. I don't think you need to prove anything. I think you have proven enough to do something. So to me, this is more of a, let's get someone to potentially replace him, so therefore we don't miss a gap. He gets developed by a leadership, but they currently have Kane as the strong side linebacker behind Hampton. That's okay. It's okay. It's a 4-3 defense. Fine. That's fine. But I really thought inside linebacker would be the way to go to eventually replace Bobby Wagner. You know, Bobby Wagner has been a veteran force with Dan Quinn for years, and he has always proven, no matter which team he has played for, that he's so worth it. I mean, we all remember when he was let go by Seattle, went to the Rams, was so good, Seattle brought him back. And then he went over to Washington, and on a team that basically, let's be real, they didn't think how good Jaden was going to be in his rookie year, showed out, and then he just did his job as captain. He was still a captain, okay? And I think it was not just based on seniority. I think it was just like he proven that he's a captain, not just because I'm a veteran player, blah, 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 blah. No, he's like, no, he has proven he's a captain by example, not by intimidation, which that's the true definition of a leader. You lead by example, not by intimidation. And definitely not by nepotism, or definitely not by, well, I'm a senior, so I get it without trying. Nah, Wagner proved his worth, and this pick, I really thought it would be his potential heir. Maybe they move him into inside linebacker, maybe they do. But right now, he's viewed as a strong side linebacker behind Hampton, and quite frankly, at least he addressed the linebacker spot in this draft class, and I really thought they'd do it earlier, but they did anyway. So to me, still a solid pick. Development side. Washington is still heavily viewed as an offensive team right now anyway, but get that defense shaped up because the NFC East is going to be hell. And then, like I said, they only got 5 picks. So, in the 7th round, the last pick with the 245th selection of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders selected Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt, running back, Arizona. This is the projected depth chart. Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, Jeremy Nichols, Christian Rodriguez Jr., Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt. I don't see his name on the mock draft. Now, we all know that Austin Eckler is on his last leg, and we all know he's doing his best to stay around. Brian Robinson is the GOAT, and Jeremy Nichols has proven to be a good, viable, rotational player. Christian Rodriguez on the roster, we'll see where that happens. We understand that running back by committee is the way to go in the NFL. And Crosby Merritt probably offer some value there we don't see. But to me, this feels more of he has some intangibles that can be utilized. And honestly, I am going to do a little peek, since I have time. I'm going to take a quick little peek into the roster because I want to see where they have him. He's 5'11", 208. Okay, so he's not he's the average. Most of the running backs are 5'9", 5'9", 5'9", and Robinson's being 6'1". Everyone else, okay, so he's not the biggest guy. He's not the heaviest guy. So there must be something. I wonder if they're going to use him as a... No. They currently have... Wow, they have Jalen Lane as the punt returner projection on this mock draft. So, I don't know. I don't know what they see in Merritt to make him use the pick. I mean, he I don't know. This is one of those picks where I kind of feel a bit like, Okay, you guys see something that I don't see, obviously, and I'm sure some Commander fans are thinking, what? We have running backs. We have quite a few. I would have again said, get a linebacker. Developing under Bobby Wagner and Dan Quinn seems the appropriate way to go. I would have gone to the linebacker here. Someone more middle, but that's me, beating that dead horse of middle linebacker, obviously. This is one of those picks that I'm sure local fans of Commander fans might be a little bit more passionate about why. But as a non-Commander fan who's basically viewing it based a lot of it on face value and stats that I see in front of me, I'm going to make an argument and say there must be something here that just makes the Commanders go, we don't know where to use them, but we want to use them somewhere. So we're going to use that. So to me, this is another head scratcher, but hey, he got drafted. I don't want to criticize his placement. I'm just looking at it going, okay, you see something, you're the professional, you get paid. I don't. I do this for fun. So, welcome to the NFL. You made it. That's all that matters. Don't let a stupid YouTuber dictate otherwise. So, the grade for the Commanders. Last year, I think I gave them, after the Daniels pick, as a not yet, because I wouldn't know how good Jaden Daniels would play. I thought the Cowboys would be a lot better. And I thought the Giants would have stolen a win here because of their defense. Wrong. I can't help but feel like they are now contenders. This draft class proved to me that even though a lot of the players are viewed more as backups and third stringers and some question marks. So a lot of it is just being viewed as how quickly can Amos get involved, how much can Lane get involved. I mean, Lane is being projected as the punt returner starter, so he's already contributing, which is my clever segue into saying the favorite player I'm looking forward to for camp in the rookies is Jalen Lane. He's a guy that I feel like he's going to be that third down receiver that no one pays attention to, but he's going to make 40, 50, 60 catches, and then you're going to find out that, wow, he has 8 touchdowns, 60 catches for, 777 yards, something like that. And you'd be like, wow, he's just there. Terry McLaurin's going to be definitely the home run hitter and definitely the guy who catches the 2-yard pass to take a 60-yard. We've seen all the times. Noah Brown's going to be the versatile other player, and of course, Deebo Samuel will see how much left in the tank and how much they're going to mess up. That's another thing too. Are they going to use Deebo as a runner too? That was his biggest, intangible, that he can run the ball effectively like a running back and he can catch it. So I can't help but feel like that goes back to the Crosby Key Merritt pick from Arizona going, I don't know how much I'm going to use Deebo in the running back department. So, but Lane is definitely going to be the guy that I think we need to pay attention to. And if he shows out in preseason, like he leads the receiver in preseason, or he goes into it, and if he has 15 catches in the first 3 games, don't be surprised if he has a touchdown in every game because of reasons. Don't be surprised. I feel like Lane is that special gem, not a star, but definitely a special gem that could make the Commanders better and also make Jaden Daniels' second year not be viewed as a sophomore dip, unlike CJ Stroud. So that is the Commanders. So I guess we can, I'm not gonna. So we're gonna conclude the NFC East by talking about the Giants of New York. It's clearly not the best for last, but it's definitely the last of the best. So I guess we'll give the Giants the curtain call, and we'll talk about what they do and what they did. And there's a lot of pressure in that locker room and in that front office. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.